The world has become a cavern of echoes, a relentless storm of useless words where every coward has a megaphone. They scream because they are afraid. They post because they are empty. But in the shadows of 2026, where the old structures of comfort begin to rust and snap, a different breed is rising. He does not explain, he does not justify. He simply is. While the masses trade their dignity for a moment of digital relevance, the silent man builds his fortress in the quiet. He understands that talk is the rust of the soul, and action is the sharpened blade. You feel it, don't you? The exhaustion of pretending to care about the noise. If you are tired of the chatter and ready to reclaim the iron in your blood, stay. This path isn't for the weak of heart or the loud of mouth. If you feel the pull toward the silence of the hunt, consider standing with us. This isn't about a channel, it's about your own oath to the steel within. The year 2026 isn't coming with a bang, but with a suffocating weight. Only those who have mastered the art of the inner fortress will survive the coming psychological famine. We are entering an era where your silence is your greatest weapon and your discipline is your only god. Most will drown in the sea of their own opinions, but you are here because you suspect there is power in the unspoken. There is a brutal truth that the modern world tried to bury under layers of soft lies. The man who says the least usually holds the most. By the end of this reckoning, you will understand why the quietest blade cuts the deepest, and how to forge yourself into a monument of stoic power that no storm can shake. The most important revelation awaits those who can endure the cold. Look at the hands of the modern man. They are soft, unscarred, and perpetually twitching for the next notification as if it were a drop of water in a desert of their own making. We live in an age of digital begging. Every post, every desperate comment, every frantic explanation is a plea for someone, anyone, to validate a life that feels increasingly hollow. This is the great leakage of the soul. Every time you speak to prove your worth, you bleed out a little more of your vital energy. You become a cracked vessel, unable to hold the weight of true purpose because you are too busy pouring yourself out into the dirt for the entertainment of strangers. The barbarian of old knew that a secret held was a weapon sharpened, but the man of 2026 has been trained to be his own informant, betraying his inner world for the cheap currency of a like. It is a pathetic sight. A king who trades his crown for a rattle. You have been told that sharing is strength, that vulnerability without direction is a virtue. They lied to you. They wanted you loud so they could track you. They wanted you emotional so they could steer you. But the silent man is a ghost in their machine. He is the wolf that does not howl until the throat of the prey is already beneath his teeth. If this realization stings, if you feel the shame of your own wasted words rising in your chest, good. That heat is the only thing that can melt the rust off your spirit. If this makes sense to you, if you can feel the iron starting to cool in your veins, write the word steeled in the depths of the comments. It is a signal to yourself, a mark on the wall of your new fortress. We are moving away from the warmth of the herd and into the cold clarity of the mountain peak, where the only thing that matters is the strength you carry when the world goes quiet. The world is a dying campfire, and the masses are huddling around its fading embers, weeping as the cold closes in. They look to the sky for a savior, or to the screens for a distraction, pleading for someone to tell them that the old ways of comfort will return. But the silent man has already turned his back on the flickering light. He has walked into the darkness of the forest, not because he is reckless, but because he has realized that the light was a cage. In 2026, the collapse of the familiar is not a tragedy for him. It is a liberation. While the herd panics at the sight of a crumbling economy or a fractured society, the man of iron is at his anvil. He does not waste breath cursing the wind. He studies its direction and builds his sails. He understands a truth that the loud-mouthed masses will never grasp. Power is not taken. It is grown in the soil of solitude. Every word you withhold is a brick added to your wall. Every impulse you stifle is a nerve endings hardened into leather. The modern world is a predator that feeds on your attention and your outbursts. It wants you reactive. It wants you predictable. But how do you hunt a man who makes no sound? How do you break a man who seeks nothing from you? This is the supreme advantage of the stoic barbarian in the digital age. He is unhackable because he has no vanity to be stroked. He is unshakable because his roots go deeper than the surface-level storms of the day. You are beginning to see the outline of the fortress now, the sheer scale of the strength that comes from simply refusing to participate in the collective hysteria. This is where the true separation begins, between those who are played by the world and those who play the long game. Stay focused, for we are about to descend into the marrow of the silent command, where the secrets of the few are forged into the reality of the many. Your body is the first frontier. In the year 2026, the man who cannot control his own breath is a slave, regardless of how many coins he has in his digital purse. The barbarian does not train for the mirror. He trains for the burden. He understands that a sharp mind in a soft body is a sword with a hilt of glass. It will shatter at the first impact. Silence is not just the absence of speech. It is the presence of total physical self-mastery. When you stand in a room and your presence carries more weight than any sentence could, you have achieved the first level of the silent command. People can sense the violence you have tamed. They can feel the discipline that radiates from your skin like heat from a cooling forge. This is the aura of the man who has faced his own demons in the dark and forced them to kneel. It is in this stillness that you find your true edge. While others are seeking hacks and shortcuts, you are seeking the grind. You embrace the pain because pain is the only honest thing left in a world of filters and fakes. When your muscles scream and you remain silent, you are teaching your soul that the flesh is a servant, not the master. This realization is the turning point. If this resonates with the warrior hidden beneath your skin, if you feel that ancient fire stirring in your gut, write the word unbroken in the comments. It is a vow to yourself that you will no longer be soft. You are reclaiming the primal right to be formidable. The world wants you docile, predictable, and weak, but you are becoming something they cannot categorize. A stoic storm, a man of iron who knows that the greatest battles are won before a single word is ever spoken. We are moving deeper into the shadows now, to where the truly dominant claim their throne. Silence is not a void. It is a vacuum that pulls the truth out of everyone else. In the gathering chaos of 2026, the man who masters the art of observant silence becomes a predator among sheep. While the loud man is busy projecting an image he cannot sustain, the silent man is mapping the room. He sees the tremor in the hand of the boastful. He hears the desperation beneath the laughter of the arrogant. He notices the cracks in the armor of those who claim to be invincible. By saying nothing, you become a mirror in which others eventually reveal their own rot. They feel the weight of your silence, and in their discomfort they begin to babble. They offer up their secrets, their fears, and their weaknesses like carrion to a crow, just to fill the space you refuse to occupy. This is the tactical supremacy of the Stoic. You are not just being quiet, you are gathering intelligence. You are a fortress with high walls and hidden archers. In an era where every scrap of data is harvested, your privacy is your greatest wealth. The man who tells the world his every move has already lost the element of surprise. But you move like a shadow across the stone. Your plans are forged in the cold, away from the prying eyes of the digital panopticon. If you feel this shift in your perception, if you are starting to see the world not as a stage to perform on, but as a terrain to be mastered, then you are ready for the core of this discipline. The most brutal revelation is still ahead, the moment when the silent man stops observing and starts acting. Do not turn away now, for the crown of the new era belongs only to the one who can endure the weight of the iron in total, chilling stillness. When the hammer finally falls and the structures of the old world crumble like burnt parchment, the silent man does not panic. He has been living in the ruins of the future since the day he chose the path of the iron. In 2026, dominance is not about who holds the most digital influence, but who can hold their ground when the ground itself is shaking. The world is addicted to the noise of fake progress, but you know that true movement is silent. Think of the glacier, slow, cold, and unstoppable. It doesn't scream as it grinds the mountain into dust. It simply exists with such immense weight that the earth has no choice but to yield. This is the level of pressure you must cultivate within your own spirit. The masses are terrified of the dark because they have nothing inside to light their way. You, however, have built a furnace in your chest fueled by the very things they fear: solitude, hardship, and the cold truth of mortality. If this speaks to the core of who you are, if you feel the recognition of this ancient path in your marrow, write the word legacy in the comments. It is the mark of those who build what lasts while others chase the wind. This is where the separation becomes permanent. You are no longer part of the noise. You are the silence that follows the strike. You are the one who remains when the dust settles, standing over the wreckage of mediocrity with a calm that unnerves the weak. They will look at you and wonder how you survived the storm, never realizing that you were the storm itself, waiting for its moment to break. The final revelation is drawing near, the secret of the sovereign soul that no tyrant and no algorithm can ever touch. The most important lesson is carved in the ice of the final chapters. Stay vigilant. The sovereign soul is the ultimate rebellion. In a world that demands you be a consumer, a follower, and a loud-mouthed pawn, being a silent, self-contained man is an act of war. By 2026, the systems of control will have perfected the art of emotional manipulation. They will use your anger, your lust, and your vanity to keep you tethered to the machine. But they cannot tether what they cannot find. The silent man is a ghost in the gears. He takes his satisfaction from the work itself, not the applause. He finds his joy in the sharpening of his own mind, not in the approval of the faceless crowd. This is the true meaning of Stoic dominance. The realization that you are the captain of your own inner sea, and no wave, no matter how tall, can sink you unless you let it inside. You have heard the truth now. It is a brutal truth because it strips away all the comforting lies of the modern age. It tells you that you are alone, and that your strength is the only thing that matters. But in that loneliness, there is a fierce, barbaric freedom. You are no longer waiting for permission to be powerful. You are no longer asking for a seat at a table of fools. You are building your own kingdom in the quiet places of the earth. The power you are cultivating is not for show. It is for service to your own highest ideals. As we approach the final threshold of this journey, ask yourself, are you ready to let the old, loud version of yourself die so that the man of iron can be born? The transformation is nearly complete, and the final key to this dominion is simpler and more terrifying than you can imagine. The final key is not a secret word or a hidden ritual. It is the absolute surrender of the need to be understood. The barbarian does not explain his scars to the sheep, and the Stoic does not defend his silence to the loud. In 2026, your power lies in being a mystery that the world cannot solve. When you stop seeking external validation, you become an immovable object in a world of frantic motion. You have forged your mind in the cold, hardened your body in the grind, and steeled your soul in the silence. The transformation is complete. You are no longer a victim of the era. You are its master, walking through the ruins with the calm of a king who knows his crown is kept within his own ribcage, forged from the iron of his own soul. This path is lonely, and it is meant to be. The peak of the mountain only has room for those who can breathe the thin, freezing air of self-reliance. But you are not truly alone. There is a brotherhood of the silent, a hidden tribe of those who have chosen the iron over the noise. We do not need to speak to recognize one another. We see it in the eyes, in the posture, and in the refusal to bend. If you have found your way here, it is because you are one of us. This is not just content, it is a declaration of your new life. If you are ready to continue this ascent, to go deeper into the philosophy of the blade and the stone, stay with this tribe. Stand with those who seek the truth in the shadows. The next step is already waiting for you on the screen. Choose it, and let the silence lead you to your next victory. The world is loud, but the future belongs to the quiet.